We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the tech began to take hold.
Be sure to thank Hyperx, Thermaltake, and Sapphire in the comments. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And also be sure to click on the links in the description. You are so unprofessional, sir.
You can't vape, you can't do it.
Alright, why'd you put him in the middle? He's the loudest, he's gonna be right. Oh my god.
I don't give a shit.
Alright, so I will not be vaping. Let's talk about HyperX first and foremost. They had the Predator. Yes, it's an M.2 with PCI Express, so you put it into a little PCI Express adapter, plug it in, and it's ridiculously fast. You guys should watch our HyperX video. There's a lot of stuff going on that's already been on the web, so I'm not going to really get into them too much because we already did. Anything else really crazy you guys want to talk about from HyperX?
That big memory kit, 64 gigs at 3333.
Yeah, 64 gigs at 3333 is impressive.
Yeah, you can overclock and do benchmarks and world records and shit, but also edit videos.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was crazy town.
By the way, it's so loud because we have the entire YouTube community behind us.
Hey guys, say hi. Just wave. Hi.
Oh, them guys.
Wait, where's the camera? Where's the
It's right over there.
It's in the sink where it belongs.
It's in the kitchen.
Alright, they're going to be over here in just a minute, so we're going to get through all this nonsense. So we went over to Gigabyte next. Gigabyte had the, they moved their water force that we saw at Computex, which was on the 780, that ginormous heatsink water block thing on top.
It's like mounted to the top of your case
all the
type
stuff
deal.
that goes on the inside, yeah. And water cools your 780s. Now they've moved it over to the 980s. And I'm not sure how I feel about this because you could probably do this more efficiently if you just did it yourself. And it'd probably be cheaper as well.
Yeah, you'd be able to do it cheaper.
And prettier.
Prettier.
I don't like the whole Predator, like dreadlock things going through the front of your
Going
case.
straight
It's just
in.
weird.
But I want to know what you guys think about it. If it's the same price, maybe it's something you can consider. It also was not that loud.
That's true.
And it is, it's a solution that you can really get some extra, megahertz. But again, doing it yourself is always another option.
They also had the X99 SoC Champion motherboard.
Okay.
World record memory overclocking board.
Now here's what they did with that, and we actually saw this at Corsair later with some 3400 megahertz memory, 3500 megahertz DDR4. And what they did is they moved the DIMMs, closer to the socket, so that the trace layouts were a little bit better, lower latency.
And we're talking latency, the difference in like milliseconds here, because we are talking what, millimeters of distance, and it's like you can see it, and you're like, wow, that is a little bit closer.
But it's funny because all the other memory manufacturers that we went to throughout the week all were using that board for like their high-end overclocks that they were showing off.
Yep, it's like there it was everywhere we went, man.
They all know it. It's there.
Yep. If you want overclocking, that seems to be the king right now for X99. Next up, we had the Orus laptop, 3K laptop. These things were
Fancy.
That Orus laptop was insane. We're talking 3K display with SLI 970s.
RAID SATAs.
And not only that, but the form factor, it was so slim, it was neat, it was tidy and compact.
That's the crazy part about this, the form factor size. I've seen laptops that have similar specs with SLI, but they're big and
that
fat.
big chunky.
Yeah.
It's like your chunky 17-inch SLI gaming laptop, but in like a near ultrabook thin package that's so elegant and beautiful.
It was nice. It was something you can slide into like a nice sleek laptop bag, not something that's gonna be heavy and weigh you down.
One of those, but I also want one of the MSIs, which is the opposite end of the spectrum. We'll get to the MSI in just a second. So next up, Thermaltake.
Thermaltake had some crazy cases.
They did. Thank you for letting us
Huge
be
cases, though. I mean, they were they had the Core V1, V2, and the V9.
It's crazy.
It's a huge stackable case with a very minimal sort of straight line aesthetic. Now the thing about this is you can take the top and the bottom off, and then just keep stacking them together to infinity.
Yeah, they had one that had the power supply, the motherboard, and like the hard drives in one section, and the other top was just radiators. Radiators.
Yeah, they had basically they had the entire computer in the bottom, and then they had a dual loop in the top. So they had like one loop on one side of the case that was all CPU and motherboard, and then on the other side of the case they had another loop that was a different color. It was blue and green, and that was all graphics cards.
It may be a bit silly because of the size and all that stuff. For people who are hardcore tinkerers and like want to mess around and have space to do stuff, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and also depending on what you put in there, it could generate a lot of noise. But some people who do this don't really care.
Don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. So, and then the V1 and the V2 were just smaller versions. So they seem to also have a lot of stuff going on with like the tubing. It's the bendable rigid tubing and that sort of thing. They're coming out with their own. So just stay tuned for all the videos on that. Some new custom proprietary fans.
And
they
more
also,
options for radiators than you can shake a stick at.
They also had that crazy air cooler that was a bit loud, but crazy low temperatures.
A lot of cool stuff. So Patriot had a lot of stuff going on, but it seems like they're focusing on memory. They got some really cool memory stuff going on. Of course, they have stuff with Ryzen controllers, and they got all that happening. But they also really focus a lot these days on stuff that I normally don't care about, like battery packs for phones. It's like everybody's got a million battery packs, and oh god, there's more battery packs.
They had a unique twist to theirs, though.
Yes.
So with their battery packs, they also included a micro SD card, so you could expand the memory of the phone that you had.
Yep.
So they had them for the iPhone, which is great because they don't have expandable memory, but they also had them for Galaxy phones as well.
Yeah,
so
Galaxy and Notes and all that.
Yeah, so you can have basically expandable memory in your phone as well as in the attachable battery pack, which is just crazy. And
wireless charging.
The way to charge them, they have a magnetic pad that you basically stick your phone onto, and it will just instantly charge. The other cool thing is the mobile battery packs that are just you plug in USB. You can stick that to the back of your phone's pack, then onto the pad, so you can charge two at the same time. This is ridiculous.
Yep. And you guys will see a lot more in that video. There's way more to it than that. But now it's time to move on to
MSI. I'm in love with this. I'm in love with these laptops. These things are always fantastic. I know. Some of the things that they've got are fantastic, but the one that really grabbed my attention has a built-in SteelSeries Brown Cherry MX block. I'm crazy. Okay, so it has a built-in mechanical keyboard. It has a built-in mechanical keyboard, and it's running Cherry MX Browns, and
only the best.
And you can take off the panel off the top and get to all the internals.
So there's like three or four MSATAs on top, all in RAID.
In RAID,
it's got 2.5-inch drive.
It's got a SATA in there, and then it's got four. It's got M.2.
I believe it's up to 4 MSATA.
Yeah, right. Okay, so it's got 4 MSATAs, and they have them in RAID 0 configuration, of course, and then they've got an external
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. Then you got 2.5 drive. This machine is just like I wanted to just walk out of there with it. Like,
this is effectively the big brother to what we said about the Orus. It's basically the big daddy with a mechanical keyboard like built in.
Yeah, we don't give a shit about size.
Yeah, like it's the most obnoxious.
A portable gaming rig.
Yeah.
And it had an SLI graphics chips in the bottom that they've designed in a way that when they come out with new ones, you can swap them out.
Yes,
it comes
upgradable.
SLI
3 generations future proof.
SLI 980s and they're off the board.
It was 2 or 3, I forget. I think it was 3, but the idea is that it's a standard, so you can just pop that out and pop in a new graphics card.
Because I'm sure it won't be cheap, and you're not going to want to replace it in 3 years.
No, that machine.
But for gaming, graphics cards are the most important.
Yeah, and while I'm excited about it, the base price in this is like $3,200.
Yeah,
it is ridiculous, but it is a machine that you will. It is well worth it.
$3,200, fine. That's fine with me. If you're going to buy that, may as well.
I'll sell a kidney.
And you don't have to buy an extra keyboard. It's got the mechanical built right into the front.
The other thing that we forgot our notes. We actually rewrote these just here from memory. It's ridiculous, but I forgot the model number on the MSI. Shadow something.
It's a Shadow something.
Okay,
it's crazy.
13.3-inch laptop. It's a decent little laptop you can take with you. Intel integrated graphics and all that. So it's like whatever. But you come home and you've got this little base station that you set it on top of, and inside the base station, 450-watt power supply, integrated speakers, and any graphics card that you want, pretty much. It'll fit. They've tested it up to the Titan. They've tested it with the 290X. You put it in there, lock it in place, turn it on.
Plug in a cable.
Yep, plug in a cable, and all of a sudden you're no longer on the Intel integrated graphics. You're on your dedicated real graphics card, not mobile graphics card. We're talking like big ass graphics card.
And you can keep your keyboard and your mouse plugged into with your monitor.
That's technical term.
Big ass graphics cards.com.
Bags.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, let's move on to Plextor. What do you say?
Yes.
Plextor had a lot of really cool stuff going on. Some of it was their technology that they're doing with the drivers. I'll let you get into that.
I had a very long conversation about when an SSD gets written to, it goes through a series of caching the data that you put onto it, and then it writes it to the NAND. And that takes a little bit, sometimes upwards of 10, 15 seconds, depending on the brand, depending on the NAND, depending on the methodology, and depending on the controller in there. These guys came up with a driver, and they call it Write Through Plus, or WTP. And what it does is it writes to the NAND extremely fast while also reading and writing to the cache. I mean, they went really technical with the explanation, and I won't get into it too much here. Well, the video on that one, but basically they showed a demo where they had another brand and then this drive plugged into a machine. They saved the exact same file to both of them, and then unplugged them. And when you plug them back in,
Simulated like a power loss.
and basically simulated a power loss. When they plugged them back in, the other brand had a corrupt file, and it had like the temp file from Word that was running, and then the Plextor was written to, and it was there. And we're talking, they unplugged it almost immediately after they saved it.
That's what I like about Plextor. They really know what they're doing under the hood. They're not one of these companies that just grabs a controller from somebody, grabs some memory from somebody, slaps it together, and goes, "Hey, we've got a product that's just like every other freaking product from every other company out there." Plextor knows what they're doing behind the scenes.
You know, they've been around a long time.
Yeah, they have. And the drivers are only for Windows, but Linux has a more advanced file system anyway, so Windows needs it more. So that's really cool. Next up, they had the M6
E Black Edition.
Black Edition, which is like made more for gamers. That was one thing most gamers building a case. They put the M6E in there. It's fast, but it doesn't
Kind
match
of
anything
ugly,
else.
green and
Aesthetics.
naked PCB. You know.
Aesthetics. If you want something fancy. The other thing, M7E. Yes, it is a new. It's the next generation basically, and it's going to be quite a bit faster because Gen 2 by 4 instead of Gen 2 by 2. So you see that in the video, but that was really impressive.
Very fast.
EVGA. Now we looked at that a bit. Did we not?
Yeah, we had a good look around EVGA. They had some crazy new graphics card products. One of them being the Kingpin classified 980 overclock card.
They don't even have a final clock on this one yet, but they were showing it off, so it's there.
It was just ridiculous.
huge.
Four-phase power. It's got the points for your voltages and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and RGB lighting and all that stuff, if you care about that.
All the fancy stuff. They also had a new hydrocopper heatsink that they were using, and instead of having like bent copper tubes through it, it was all straight.
Yeah.
So it was straight across
block
the
off the GPU and then just straight
They've been doing that
across.
with the entire ACX 2.0 line as well. All right, so in ADATA they have the most ridiculous amount of products ever because they are one of the biggest manufacturers of memory on the planet. They had this server grade stuff that has capacitors on the SSD to do something similar to the Plextor but without software. Works in Linux. But the thing I want to talk about really is they had a 1 terabyte M.2, 1600 megabytes on the read. Yeah.
And it's the small M.2. It's like tiny.
Yeah, it's tiny.
It's really nice.
It's a very pretty little piece of awesome storage.
Then they also had a USB 3.1 with the Type-C connector.
With
around 890.
2 SSDs inside in RAID 0.
Controller on board.
For 890 megabytes per second of speed read and write.
You want some more memory? Let's go to Mushkin.
Mushkin. That stuff was great.
These guys were impressing the hell out of me. Mushkin, I am glad to see you guys doing some amazing stuff. So they had a stacking SSDs. I don't remember how that worked. It was two
512s, and you could put another 2 512s.
And that's all that the microcontroller could handle, but still.
And it's on a PCI Express card, so the actual the SSDs were stacked on top of that, and then it would RAID them together in the card.
Yep.
And America.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
are made in America.
Their entire memory, everything, the chips, the boards, when they put them on, their R&D is all in
Fab
America.
Labs, everything here.
Everything's right here.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Didn't know that was possible.
They had a lot of really cool stuff. But I'm going to make you guys watch the video. I'm sorry because we want to get some of these guys back here too. So we're going to keep moving and just give you kind of an overview of what to look for in our upcoming videos. Give you a heads up to let you know which ones you want to watch, which ones you can freaking skip. I don't care. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Anyway,
Do you want?
Next up.
About this one.
Sapphire, yes. So, we talked to Sapphire about some upcoming products, but a company that can't be named right now wouldn't let us talk about it.
So you're just gonna have to watch the video.
Yeah.
Where we don't talk about it.
Where we don't talk about anything. But we did talk about Ed.
Ed is great.
Or talk with Ed.
Man, that guy right there is awesome. He's like 51. He's been playing games forever. He's probably one of the oldest and most awesome game guys.
He goes to
I've
every
met.
LAN party in America.
And these guys are one of our sponsors, but I always contact them when I need someone to help us out because I know that they're gamers. I know Ed's a real gamer. He understands. He goes to like every LAN party, like you just said.
Literally,
Yeah, he goes to
cares.
every LAN party in America. Yeah.
I like it because he's a member of the community.
He's an actual enthusiast.
He'll sit down and talk to you about the newest games that are out, and he'll actually. Sometimes he's over my head with some of the games. I'm like, dude, I haven't had time to play that yet. And he's like, I'm doing this and traveling around the country. I'm 51 years old, and I've already played these games. Come on, you need to get with it.
You need to step up.
I'm like, Jesus, man. So Ed, you're awesome. Sapphire, thanks very much. All right, moving right along. The Mionix mouse, you guys saw?
We went and saw the new Mionix mouse and a couple of other things. They've got a Kickstarter
Quantitative
going.
gaming.
There was two different things that we were looking at. One was their Kickstarter where they've got a.
Keep talking. I'm checking the back.
Yeah, okay. They We good? All right. So they've got it's called the quantitative gaming, and it's a sensor that they're building into the mice, and they had a bunch of prototypes where it would
Two sensors,
and they would read your heartbeat and
galvanic skin response.
Yeah, so it was pretty crazy, and they have a bunch of
Terminator
open
stuff.
API that they were dealing with to take this data from your palm and your heart rate and your stress level and all that kind of jazz.
And then they have an app that lets you monitor it on your screen. You can float it around, put it where you want, and you can also see your team members' stats. So if you're playing a game in a party, you can see like, oh, hey, man, this guy's losing it. He's getting hurt. Let's
Or this
go.
guy, why isn't his
You can
hand
see
on his mouse?
like,
What's going on?
heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was they were playing. They had a setup with a game, and it was 3 guys. So you could watch each one, and if the person pulled their hand off the mouse, it would flatline. You're like, wait a minute, did he actually die, or he's picking his nose? Gotcha. All right. Well, that's what happened.
So that looks
But there's
And
4
then-
days left on the Kickstarter, so if you're interested in seeing more about it, check it
head
out.
over to the Kickstarter. Check
And
that out.
the other thing is they've got a new mouse coming out because they've got the one that's the ambidextrous mouse,
The Avior.
the AVR, and then they've got the
Nails.
The Nails.
Nails, and that's the big one. And then they're like, they need something that kind of goes between the two. So they've
The
got
Navior. Or is it the
Avos. What?
They name all their mice after stars,
Oh,
like celestial stars.
right.
Yeah.
Not like celestial stars.
Like the Michael Jackson. This is the Michael Jackson. Watch it moonwalk.
The Barbara Streisand mouse.
So you guys check out that video, and it was actually really nice because it was in between the two. And I'm not a big fan of the Nails because it's a little too wide and it's too big, and I feel like it.
like it.
My wrist rests on the table when I use it, and I looked at it, I'm like, this is kind of nice. It's nice. I like how wide and how functional it is, but my wrist rests on the table, so I end up doing all wrist motion instead of like arm motion.
It keeps my pinky off of the mouse pad. I like the Nails.
My grip's a little higher than yours, which is weird because my hand's bigger, so I use it all the time. It doesn't bother me.
Well, the new one is they've got a higher ridge in the middle, so you've got like a higher.
yeah, it lifts you
you
up a
actually
little.
lift up, and I'm like suddenly I'm way up here. Like this was amazing. It was really nice. I like it. I like what they're doing with it.
Asus.
Again.
That was like a gong hit. Okay, so Asus.
Did you say, oh, gone.
Did you say G-Sync? They did have the new RG Swift monitors. They had some new G-Sync monitors upstairs. That's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the other thing, with the other, V-Sync technology type thing. They had one of those monitors there, and they said they were going to do 120 hertz, but it's not final. It's probably going to come out as 144 hertz, 1440p. It's just pretty much like the ROG Swift, except it uses that other stuff, adaptive V-Sync stuff.
What are you
Isn't
talking
that an
about?
open standard?
Yeah, it's part of the DisplayPort 1.2a standard. It's fully compliant.
It's awesome.
There's going to be a lot of those coming out. They're probably going to all start dropping on the same day from different companies. We got to see one. I don't know anything about what technology it was. I don't know.
It's not very expensive, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
The technology.
It's almost free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll be making a mad dash to get one.
Anyway, Albert checked out a Pro Series monitor from Asus. What do you think?
That thing was amazing, and the main reason is because the price. So it's a 4K display, IPS, all of sRGB, 99% of RGB.
Yeah, 14-bit color.
14-bit color, Rec 709. It's amazing, and the price point on it is basically half of the nearest competitor. It's a 60 Hz 4K.
Yeah.
It is beautiful, and I'm gonna get 2 of them.
It's cut in half.
All right, speaking of video, you guys should watch the Asus video because we have a lot of gaming stuff, but I'm going to kind of skip it over it. One thing I want to mention before I move on, you guys want to watch the Asus video because they have not only some new mice, but they're allowing you to swap out your on-RON switches so you can get the exact, clicky feel you like.
Because I'm very specific. I like the 20 million on my right click, but I like the 10 million on my left click.
I'm all 10 million, man.
I'm a mouse hipster.
Mipster. All right, moving right on to Antec. So Antec is back.
Antec is back.
They're in business. They got a bunch of new cases, very sleek.
My first build that I've ever made was with an Antec case.
Dude, half of Windows Office is still rolling with Antecs. Like what was the 300? What was it called? The Antec. A couple of years ago, there was I don't remember.
What, with the 2 blue fans in the front?
Yeah.
I think that was the 900.
900.
I think that's what it was called. Yeah, it was the 900. Yeah.
Anyway, they're back. They've got a lot of cases.
A lot of good stuff coming out.
Very sleek. They've actually started working with aluminum. Like they got the new big case. It was at Computex, but they sort of retooled the inside. It's now quite big and cavernous. You can remove all the hard drive cages, swap the I/O from one side to the other. They had a lot of ITX cases as well. So Antec, man, welcome back. It's good to have you.
And we don't really want to talk about something like this because it's kind of it's almost a little lame, but they make a Bluetooth speaker that's like this big.
Wait, hold on a second. We got one. Hey, can somebody hand me that?
All right, so we've actually been using this tonight to listen to music here with everybody.
Yeah, it's a Bluetooth
Playing
speaker.
some smooth jazz for those smooth times when you want your smooth friends to be smooth.
It's amazingly loud.
And they call it the sugar cube. And it literally, it's this big. It's teeny, and it's loud.
And,
nice
it's got a microphone inside, so you can actually do like telecom.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's Bluetooth, so it's not just a speaker, but it's also a microphone. So it's just like any other kind of headset. So you can sit it down and act as a, like I said, a conference phone.
I don't want to talk about it anymore because I feel uncomfortable liking that thing.
Take this from me.
All right, next
Get that
up.
thing out of here.
Randy,
Corsair.
go.
Corsair. We decided to stop by Corsair. I was like, are they on the list? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, they're right here. Let's go inside now.
Corsair was great.
Yeah,
love Corsair.
let's talk about their new 280mm radiator. The new fans as well. The Whisper client, huge, and they said it's been beating performance. It's been beating the performance of everything they've ever made.
Right.
So,
And it's weird. It's got a thinner radiator. It's quieter, but it's better than the H105.
those fans are awesome.
Those fans are ridiculously quiet.
Yep. They also were showing off some 3400 megahertz RAM on guess which motherboard? That Gigabyte. There it was.
SoC X99 Champion.
Yeah, there it was. But the 3400 megahertz RAM, they said they were able to get 35, but they couldn't do it on some of the other boards like the ROG from Asus. They had several new cases as well, even some very minimal basic cases with sound deafening. They had a case for $59 that has sound deafening foam.
Wow.
I shouldn't have looked back there. Yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about. So now it's time to talk to everybody else.
Alright, so we're all squished in here like sardines, which is actually rather comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
better.
You know what? I don't want to be the host. Who wants to be the host?
Kyle.
Kyle, you're the wacky one.
You're the host.
I mean, you're the
Sorry.
wackiest of the whack-a-mole wacky.
All right, get us going.
All right, so we're here, and
We're really tired.
and we're talking about CES stuff still. As you'll notice, I'm not Logan or Qain, but I am here with two other people, Paul and Joanne. I'm Kyle, and
Qain.
we're here to describe our CES experiences, the best, and what we enjoyed at the event.
Alright, who's going first?
Besides the booth babes, of course.
Wait, I didn't see any booth babes this time.
If you don't notice the booth babe, you are the booth babe.
That's exactly correct.
Whatever.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm the booth pig.
we're all
All right, let's
booth
start with
babes.
Paul.
All
What's
Yay,
right, Paul.
booth
Paul,
babes.
what was your favorite thing about CES this year? New experience.
Okay, I'm leaning.
Talking to the mic.
I'm leaning close here because if you guys can't tell, my voice is just gone.
I think we're all a little raspy because
It does
of the
mean that I
yelling.
can speak in dulcet tones to y'all. So, my favorite thing about CES always is the people that I come here to meet and to commute.
Oh, you.
That is
you
such a
copycat.
cop out answer.
You guys are sex.
Copycat.
It's not the tech, it's the people you're with that makes CES a special event.
You said that copying me because I
No,
already
I
had
did
that
not.
in
I
mind
said
for.
that first.
Alright.
Okay, continue. People.
Want to know what I hate most about CES? These
Alright,
two.
fine.
Right here.
I don't give two shits about any of you motherfuckers, alright?
You can't-
All I really cared about is
God,
this
this is
M.2
not live.
drive.
Thank
I had this
God.
M.2 drive
Yeah.
with 1600 megabytes per second reads and 1200 megabytes per second writes. It was made by ADATA. It had a black PCB, and it was awesome. That's all I care about. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, awesome.
You go next. We're
All
gonna
right.
go in order.
All right, my voice is also a little dead, but not nearly as bad as Paul's. But my favorite thing at CES, I mean, I could ramble on about all the good tech stuff, all the core IT, DIY PC components, but obviously a lot of you guys are already covering that and doing an excellent job, so I don't want to bore you guys to death. But what I thought stood out to me the most, for one, I noticed a huge, I mean, the drones were very strong this year as compared to prior CESs. I mean, drones were everywhere, and drones are cool and they're fun. They had like little synchronized dances that
You
they
see
would
Indiana
do.
drones?
Any what?
Indiana drones?
Ah, Indiana Jones. Okay.
See it? The one with the hat on?
I did see one.
It didn't fly very well because the hat was on top of the propellers.
Of course.
Oh, of course.
Flying away
yes,
from a
that-
giant
that
boulder, I
makes
believe.
sense.
Was it a red hat?
Okay,
Yeah,
you
it's
guys.
landed
To be
on the-
continued. But anyway, one of the more unique things I saw was I forget the name of the company, but they had those beam machines. So like they're pretty much robots on wheels with monitors and webcams, and there's people actually like streaming on these cameras, and they can control the robots.
Surrogates, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So there was like 12 or 15 of these things, and everybody on one I thought was recording. I walked by the booth and was like, what's all these recordings of people's faces on them? They're actually live people speaking live from different parts of the world. They were all the product specialists for this company.
What are the applications and implications of this sort of technology in the world?
I think a main application is productivity. So like telecommunicating, right? So you can't make a meeting, right? You're out sick. You roll up in your little beam, and all of a sudden you're there in the meeting or whatever. There's a million applications for it. Also like health and education. I'm sure there's practical uses for that as well. But I actually did an interview with one of the robots, and this is really comfortable right now.
Where was the robot?
The robot.
Where's the person in the robot?
She was in
She.
Palo
speaking of
Alto. And her name was Reem, but all I saw was her face, and she had a really slender body because it was just two pieces of metal going into two wheels at the bottom.
Sexy.
It was super sexy. And she was like, "Look at me!" And then like the robot would spin. It was a weird, surreal experience, and wondering like.
That's awesome.
And at one point I was like, "So when are these things going to be like on the streets?" And she's like, "Well, they already are." She's like, "Actually, the other day, me and my coworker, we rolled over to a cupcake place and ordered cupcakes at a store for 8 people and brought them back like on a tray and stuff." And I was like, "So how am I supposed to exchange contact information with you?" She took a picture on the webcam. So.
Kyle, that's BS. Robots can't eat cupcakes.
Well, you know what? They can sure try.
Got it. Great weight loss tool.
What?
Be a robot.
Be a robot, and you can go into it. You can have the entire restaurant experience. You can look at all the food.
That's great.
While you're sitting at home watching yourself do it, and then
You
you
know,
won't
it
actually
would
do
be
it.
great if we could copy our, consciousness onto a disc, like dolls. Have you seen that?
That sounds creepy.
The anime.
Joss Whedon.
Yes, I've actually.
Dolls, right? That was actually
I've
pretty
seen Ghost in
good.
the Shell. Is that
Yeah.
like good enough?
It's like the same thing, right?
Ghost in the Shell, right?
That show's kind of creepy though.
So you never
Really
die.
cool,
You just switch bodies, but you just download or insert the disc into the back of your head or something.
That's exactly what these products were like.
2032.
Same thing.
I saw
2032.
Shawshank Redemption.
That's like
I saw iRobot.
billion
iRobot,
years
does
old,
that
but
count?
that is good. Okay, wait, there is a robot discussion. What do you think about Scarlett Johansson playing
We don't
Ghost
Where
in
are
the
we
Shell?
going?
No.
Where are we going?
No.
I'm the host.
No.
I was tasked.
that's
I was
so bad.
tasked with hosting this segment
I'm
of the
so
tech.
upset.
What?
So I'm going to move
What?
things along and ask Joanne.
It's a robot.
Let's
What?
refocus. Let's refocus. Damn it.
No, we need to talk about this. This is important.
God damn it.
It's such a bad decision.
I hate you all. You can do something
Yeah.
about that.
Hey,
Joanne.
Yes.
Be careful with the table, the mic.
Oh,
is
sorry.
it a bad decision for that to happen, or a bad decision to talk about
No,
it?
bad decision for
Everything.
her to play that role.
Oh,
It's awful.
okay.
Yes.
No, we were
Don't
thinking
do
that
it.
guy from
Don't you dare.
girl from Pacific Rim. You know,
That's
she
what
would have been
everyone
good,
keeps saying.
right? That would have been
I've never
good.
seen the movie. I saw a picture of
All
her.
right. Besides Pacific Rim,
It's a cool
Joanne.
movie. It's fun to watch.
Okay,
Joanne, what was your
okay,
favorite thing about CES? Amidst all the chaos.
Since I'm not hitting the floor until tomorrow, I'm going to be seeing a lot of exciting things. I actually saw some pretty cool stuff while I interviewed Corsair, Cougar Master, and ZXT, all those people. There's this new heatsink that's coming out. It uses, I know it's not kinetic energy. What is it? It's kinetic.
It's kinetic energy.
Yes.
The one from Cool Master?
Yeah. What is it? It's the kinetic what?
They already talked about it.
Oh,
wait.
but I want my thoughts
Let's hear
on
your
it. It's
take
not
on it.
cool.
Let's hear
We're
your
gonna bring
take.
Jay
You
up.
know
We're
what's
gonna get nerdy
absolutely
about that.
ridiculous
What?
is anyone discussing this except for Jay, who's the only one of us who's actually seen it.
He made a video.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring him on.
But we've all
You saw
watched
it
his
too.
I
videos.
saw it.
She saw
I
it.
watched
I
these
saw it
videos.
She saw it.
at the suite. It was really cool.
I don't believe you.
No, it's a round heatsink, and they clipped off the sides so that your RAM can fit if you have taller RAM, which I thought was really cool. And the middle disc spins, which is also made of aluminum, I think. And and I don't know, I just thought it was really cool because they can make it really small and it can spin at a really high speed, but it's not lower speed, therefore being less loud in your system. Just thought it was really cool. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. It's like.
There was
perfect
there was
transition.
no punctuation right there. It was very cool. I'm very tired. I'm sorry.
Oh, have you met Joanne?
And Joanne shuts down.
I'm always random, but when I'm tired, I just go into like random, like weirdness.
Of course.
Where are we? Where are we?
Oh yeah, we are in
Las Vegas.
All right, listen. Okay, this is very. You guys ready? You guys ready for us to? You guys ready for us to blow your minds right now?
Yeah, blow our minds.
All right, listen whose room this is.
Among other
This
things.
room was Elric's room.
Elric.
What?
This room
Oh.
was
Thank
shitting
you,
me.
Elric.
All right,
Yeah.
You're shitting me.
but listen.
You got it. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So Elric.
Blacklight everything.
Elric couldn't come for health reasons. Elric, you would be here with us. You're with us, man. Cool. I hope you feel better.
Elric, you're here in our hearts.
We love you.
Yeah, we
You're
miss
the best
you.
man.
Better,
We're-
dude.
you know,
So-
next year for sure.
So V1 Tech talked to Elric, and he actually hooked him up with this room. So V1 Tech was our sponsor at QuakeCon. They make really awesome things like this. They make amazing case mods, custom, tubing, custom
That is
sleeving.
so cool.
So check out
Custom graphics
v1tech.com.
card,
Yeah.
covers. Yes.
Very cool.
That's our logo. That's all. So anyway, they're here, and it seems like we always end up doing our shows wherever V1 Tech is. So V1 Tech keep going to stuff, and we'll keep doing our shows at your place and all that. Yeah.
I'm down for
I
it.
like their stuff.
Sweet.
So yeah, I think that's pretty good, guys. Everything else is fun. Everyone's independent now. How does that feel? We'll do that one more time, then we'll
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, just quick answer. How does it feel to be independent? And do a double part answer. Is the most difficult part and the best part?
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's great to be independent. The best part is thank you. The best part is having creative freedom to pretty much do whatever kind of video or formulate or phrase the video however I want to.
Uncensored.
That's really awesome, and it really helps with creativity. The worst part is that you no longer have a large company behind you representing you. You have to do everything on your own. So certain things, certain benefits that we got from coming here before, like associated with Newegg, it's just not there
A lot of
anymore.
people think that this is just like, oh my God, the best job in the world. It's so easy. You know what? A lot of you guys who are working 9 to 5, and that's all you work. I'm almost envious of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have no
Absolutely.
vacations, none.
It's just like
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
It's fun.
but
It's
so
a
great.
fun job. But
Exactly.
it's still a job.
It's such a misconception because I'm sure all of our parents think that ever since we
We're
went
just having
independent
fun.
doing YouTube stuff, we're just like in our boxers all day playing video games.
Pretty
That's not
much,
necessarily
no.
the truth. We're in our boxers doing work.
That's
You know,
true, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
I don't wear
completely
boxers.
And we're
Yeah.
playing video games, but we're recording it.
That's right. We're
Yes.
streaming to you
and,
guys.
And
So.
we're explaining them, in
Difference
detail.
between work
Great
and play.
detail, yes.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Paul. The creative freedom is invaluable. I think that's the biggest thing that I get out of it, and I think that really comes through on video because you're very transparent to your viewers. You guys all know if we're having a good time or not. If I'm having a bad day, you guys are the first to point it out. But the fact that I have my own creative freedom and can produce the type of content that I want in the way that in the style that I like, you guys see it coming through me. You're like, he's having a good time. I'm interested in this too. Also, a very hard part is doing everything yourself. Micromanaging, making sure that you're being in contact with vendors via email. You're shooting, you're writing the scripts, you're editing, you're doing everything. You're on social media.
it's like-
insane.
That's true. You're
it's
like
insane.
a one-man circus.
Making the videos is like 4% of what you actually do.
Yeah,
Pretty
right.
much, yeah.
Exactly.
And you're like, man, if I could just make videos, if I just could not do all this other stuff, that's why I've been trying. Now that we're getting a little bigger, I've been trying to hire people, and hopefully you guys will get there.
Yeah.
And I want to say something
Hopefully
sappy.
by next year.
The reason I always make sure that I see you guys and hang out with you guys is because when you're on YouTube and when you're in person, you're genuine and you keep it real. And it's really important to me that I associate myself with people who are real on and off YouTube. So that's why I'm always looking for you guys.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. We love you too.
I'm glad you think I'm real.
Do you have any food for us?
I'm glad
That's pretty fucking real.
You're just using me for food, I knew it.
I'm glad that you haven't seen through this carefully crafted facade.
I've been poisoned once, and I still haven't learned my lesson.
By
Well,
who?
it's
By him.
because I'm so charming, I guess.
Where did your voice go, Paul?
Now, what about you, Joanne? You've been doing the independent thing longer than Paul and I have, so what's your take on it?
Oh, that's true. But
Best
you,
and worst.
but you guys have done this channel thing for maybe over 2 years, right?
Good point.
Yeah.
But you've been like completely on your own.
Yeah,
for a
because
little bit
when I
longer.
left, I wanted to just break free. I want to break free.
Now I gotta pay royalties.
Let it go.
Okay, no, but seriously, like they said, the freedom basically to do whatever you want and say whatever you want, no filter except for maybe the bleeping of some certain
You
words.
never have a filter, Joanne.
Yeah.
You never
Damn
have a
it.
filter.
Yeah, but that's what's so awesome. Okay, so but yes,
Boop,
Heck.
Fuck.
boop heck.
Kyle, you're the only one who said something that wasn't boob or what was the other thing? Poop.
Always
I mean, heck.
poop and fuck.
I thought you said
What were you
boob.
doing?
Okay.
Well, this went wrong.
Tech number 100, whatever. Poop and fuck.
Okay, but yes, creative freedom. But what I don't like about it, well, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, I'm just working. I mean, no
Yeah.
complaints because
Yeah.
I love it. But it's just my family's like, oh, there's dinner or whatever. My friends are like, let's do this, and I'm just
your
like,
creative
oh,
director?
actually, I've got to do this
Right there.
invoice
There it
thing.
was.
What happened?
Told him to come and wave in the back.
Oh.
Joanne's right hand man.
But yeah, and also it's the financial part because you're doing everything yourself. So if you don't make the money in time, then you gotta borrow or you're just stressing out. But when you do make connections and you get sponsors, it feels good because you're doing something well, something right, and you're doing something you love and getting paid for it. And I don't know anyone who wouldn't love to do that. So.
All right. Let's
Well
do it
said.
like cheesy cartoon superhero style. Let's make the world a better place,
Captain
everybody.
Planet! I'm Art. I'm just kidding.
My voice is so good.
Oh, I gotta go kill myself. I told myself I'd never do that again. You guys tricked me. So, Jay, dude, you're getting so big on YouTube that you're gonna have to change your name to like Jay's like $1.
I'm getting big in person too. Have you seen me?
Dude, you've always been. That's what happens when we're just giants.
Exactly. I have to duck under doorways. It sucks. I've run into I don't know how many signs this week.
So now you're still working off YouTube as well. So you have like a regular job, just like Qain.
I have a full-time job. YouTube's still my hobby.
How do you get that many videos done while also working a full-time job?
Well, there's only one place I could find time, and that was to forego sleep. And I have a newborn on top of that, so I wasn't sleeping anyway.
How much have you slept this week, Qain? Yep.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Jay's a master of efficiency.
It's true. I am. No, I mean, I don't know. It's easy to do it because I love it. So as long as I'm doing it because it's fun, it's easy. Wild Paul appeared.
Yeah.
I wanted to join. You guys make me happy.
Hopefully it can hear you.
Yeah, it should be able to hear you.
I won't say anything important, I promise.
I'll cheat it a little bit, but we'll just hang out, you know. So, CES, let's talk a little bit about that because that's all the new stuff coming out, and everybody out there is waiting to know what we think about things. You're the only one of us who went to Cooler Master because you went all the way out there.
Right.
Worth it because you got a ton of hits on that video.
Did it? You know, I haven't really checked. I haven't had an
50K, Jay. We're at 50K.
Well, that's because of that kinetic cooler. People want to see that kinetic cooler.
Tell us about it, man. I haven't been over there.
Okay, so
I'm afraid they might be closed up by tomorrow. So
right. So I'm not a physicist, but the way kinetic energy has to do with the natural radiation of heat and how heat wants to move in our atmosphere, right? So the design there is that the hotter it gets, the faster it spins. The faster it's spinning, centrifugal and kinetic forces are actually forcing the heat out of the cooler. So it's completely silent. There's no motor in it, and Cooler Master teamed up with Cool Chip and created an additional piece to it with heat pipes and vapor chambers.
So that it would get to an acceptable temperature on a higher wattage or whatever.
I mean, they didn't have a display. They had it running in like a server atmosphere. But they didn't have any temperature readouts or anything. They're claiming massive increase of efficiency and cooling dissipation over standard heat pipes. So as a claim I would like to test, Cool Chip and Cooler Master have agreed to let me test that. So what they told me specifically though is I asked for an ETA and they said, well, we don't really have one yet. The technology exists. It's already been being used in like enterprise.
Yeah.
So they basically asked me to ask the viewers when they want to see it. If they get a lot of pressure, then we're looking at like Q1. So if you guys want to see that, definitely blow up these comments. And we'll do it.
I think we'd like to wait maybe 9-10 months or so.
That's a good round
Just
number.
wait a while.
I like just waiting for things.
Yeah.
But the best thing about
What
that
kind
is,
of question was that? It's weird.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Next year maybe I'll have some time. So.
Yeah.
But no, the fact that it's all aluminum, they're talking about anodizing, black, red, blue, custom colors. So I like that.
Now, I mean, are there any? There's no fan. Are there any like LEDs or anything weird like that? Or is it just
What causes it to spin?
Well, it does have a motor in it in terms of assisting in the centrifugal dissipation of the heat.
all that Satanism?
Right, but there's actually exactly right.
Science, no. Satanism.
Your cooling is ours. The fact that on the top of the heatsink itself, there's also fins that catch the air, very similar to like a blower cooler and GPU.
Right.
So it's also capturing air, running it over it, and blowing it out. So they do have a fan in there or a motor in there spinning it. But the bearings on that thing are so freaking smooth that if you just flick it with your finger, it'll spin for like a minute. So it's very low coefficient. So the energy needs for that are
Are there
very
any
low.
magnets involved? Because it seemed like
No, you can rotate it both ways.
Isn't it weird to put a magnet like right on top of the CPU anyway? Or
I've not personally tested that, but I know putting it near RAM or memory chips would be bad.
yeah, of course.
Because it'll mess with the flow of the electrons. It'll change their shape.
Well, yeah, I tested by spinning it both directions. It felt like there was no resistance in either direction. So the fact that there is a motor in it, it was strange to me because I expected there to feel like some sort of phases in there.
All right, what else did you see that was really cool at the show?
What, Cooler Master specifically?
No,
or-
just other favorite things.
You know,
Like
I only-
maybe one or two other favorite things that really you thought were pretty wild.
With the exception of making like the usual media rounds for all the PC stuff we kind of already know about. Today was the first day I got to spend on the showroom floor all day. Drones are everywhere right now. And I'm sorry,
Everyone keeps droning on about it.
Well, I'm not into drones personally.
It's 5 minutes later.
He had to process
That better be the thumbnail. So I came to the conclusion that this needs to be Drone Con, is what they need to call this year.
Weird. I mean, last year was like automotive and shit I don't care about con.
Yeah, you know, TVs and drones. That's all.
Yeah, TVs and drones. Curved TVs. Where did those go? Remember that last year? Curved TVs.
They were still. Well, okay.
Didn't they sell like 11 of them this year? I think.
Yeah, but they weren't like the main brands. They were like a lot of the knockout stuff. Were now starting to operate.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to check out the personal privacy section of the floor in the South Hall?
You know, the wife's not with me this year, so we didn't get a chance to venture over there. But
she does the schedule, right?
She does my schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hi, Mrs. J.
You know what's funny? I'm gonna tell an embarrassing story. 2 years ago, we were wandering around the showroom floor. We happened to find the Trojan Vibrations, and they were just handing out free electronics. But,
I like the little bow and arrow with you. Never mind. What are we talking about here? So
I don't recall.
Yeah, I haven't been down to the floor really at all, other than the pickup.
So here's my question. I saw lots of drones, and the drones were dancing. They were like spinning around.
Yeah. That was the parrot. The parrot.
Did they show the drones doing anything like practical, like useful,
carrying something from one place to another?
Getting me a beer.
No, actually, all that I caught actually on my B-roll. I don't know if it made it into the video or not. I don't remember. Was something went wrong on that demonstration, and they all started crashing into each other. It was actually quite comical.
That's awesome.
You got it on B-roll.
I did actually get it on B-roll. I was looking at it, and I was kind of paying attention to the screen, not what's happening in front of me, and I heard the sound of all the blades hitting, and then I heard the crowd kind of start giggling, and I look, and drones are like upside down and flopping around everywhere. So some guy went and reset the software, and it started over.
No, I saw a couple of drones that were larger drones that were actually being designed for carrying around cameras like our GH4 and some of the bigger ones for
like
aerial,
they had some
both photography and aerial videography.
Right, and there's some B-roll of this too in my video. I did see like some carbon fiber like hexcopters that were designed with heavy duty gimbals and like full on videography equipment. But I did learn while talking to DJI today that if you use something like that and see even a YouTube video and you make money on it, apparently you have to have a license to fly it.
Right. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and then I don't know what the laws are in California.
As for the FAA, it's a national law.
I can't even fly one where I'm at in California because I am in a landing pattern of a municipal airport, and the planes are only 200 feet above my house when they do come in. So I don't even bother with drones because I can't fly one where I'm at.
It's lame. All right, we'll talk about YouTube for a little bit. Any more CES stuff to talk about?
Sure. Yeah.
So, what kind of content can we expect this year? Any major changes you're planning for the channel, or?
You know, I've been asked that a lot already this week, and my goal for 2015 is I want to get out more places. I want to travel to.
Yeah, you travel a lot. Whenever you go, it's like
it's because of the day job. You know, I only get so much time off a year, and my goal is I want to get out and collab with more people. I want to get out of state. I want to go to more events like PDX Land. I really want to make it to PDX Land.
You got to drive up, or?
That would be a long drive, but I would prefer to.
Flying for people our size is fun too.
Yeah, well, it's a sacrifice I make. Yeah. But yeah, 2015 for me, I want that to be the year of getting out and meeting with people.
Maybe Computex, maybe.
Not this year, but maybe 2016.
We're going to Computex, Paul?
I would love to go to Computex. I'm going to do everything I can to get there.
I'm going to try to take people with me, so we'll see what happens.
I'll go with you.
Done?
I do definitely feel for you on the day job and having to take vacation for anything. These events are my vacation.
They're eating up your vacation.
Every single one of these. Like, I'm not going to be able to go to PAX East because I burned all my vacation going to Computex this year.
I mean, I've been with my company long enough that I get a lot of vacation time, but these aren't vacations. I don't know if people realize that. This is more work than my day job. So
and you have a family.
And a newborn and a 5-year-old and a wife to keep happy, but I had to take a couple extra days off leading into next week to recover from my vacation before I go to work.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
But it's so much fun. I have no problems doing this for the viewers.
I have a question for your YouTube plans, Jay. When can we expect a Pico ITX build for your newborn?
That's actually the most common question I have right now, especially after Little Jay's build. I don't know. At the rate my kids are growing and getting smart, it won't be long before the little one's teaching me something new. So
that'll be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Little Jay had her first computer at 3, so Maybe she'll get the X99 when she's 3. I don't know.
I saw that one. That was a nice. It was all pink.
Yeah, it was a pink Ostrog case from Intermax.
It's very well built.
Yeah.
Kids are tenacious. Just give them a computer that opens up with nothing but a terminal.
Yeah.
And just, there you go. Have fun. They will figure it out.
She loves it. Well, she found YouTube on her own. I didn't tell her to get there, and she wandered on YouTube already. I'm like, well, we need to have a chat about YouTube.
You know, it's not good to put fireworks in your butt. That kind of thing.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
Don't try the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be, maybe.
You're gonna make your 5-year-old do the cinnamon challenge?
Are you kidding? She would.
Put it on YouTube. Million hits.
I'm a terrible father. Let's just say that now.
Million hits, man.
I'm a sellout. I'll sell my daughter out.
Well,
that's not a good thing to say in Vegas, Jay.
Yeah, no.
I did forget where we are. We'll go back to that no sleep thing.
Yeah, everything that goes in this camera does not stay in Vegas.
No.
Except for us, we're getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Where are we going? Blackjack?
Yeah, let's play
Yeah,
some. I don't
about
gamble.
that.
You gamble?
I like blackjack.
I just gamble with my health.
Craps?
Let's go do that.
Craps is
We
fun
can
too.
gamble with the helps, and they can go play some crap.
I crap every day.
Sometimes twice a day.
We all know HyperX makes gaming hardware, but they also have a YouTube channel centered on gaming culture that is about to hit 100,000 subscribers. Go ahead and click here to check it out. You may not know it, but Sapphire is sort of the AMD brand. They even make the OEM cards for AMD themselves. Click on the screen to see what's new and maybe some secrets. Thermaltake always has a lot going on, but this year they really have a lot going on and they have upped their game. Click on the screen to check it out.
Now we eat the mic.
Oh, it's so fuzzy. Why don't you ever want something fuzzy in your mouth?